Halloween comes early to Greenville, South Carolina. September 5th to the 7th at the Embassy Suites on Verde. Retro HorrorCon. Haunted by a toy chest worth of ghoulish collectibles for you to take home. With a scream-worthy lineup of Horror Hall of Famers to die for. Get your tickets at RetroHorrorCon.com. Toy Federation presents Retro HorrorCon.
This is Ryan. That's Andy, Travis. This is the Toy Federation podcast. We got a toy store, and we have fun.
Got a lot of stuff.
Lots.
We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna tell you about it.
I can tell you, you can't take apart, and if you can, tell me how.
Here we go.
Ewok Village, Kenner.
You can take it apart.
You'll just break it.
But you'll break it into a lot of pieces.
I broke two of them.
Yep.
Trying to get the tree parts off of the center platform because we had a beautiful box, and I was like, I'm going to complete one and put it in the box. And I broke two of the platforms, and there's just no way that I can see to pull the trees off of the platform because you can't. It's internal.
Yeah.
And
it's a weird boxy connector with like a tab that catches.
So
and you
Better
because
heat
there's
gun.
yeah, because you can't.
maybe,
You can't get to the tab.
but not really.
The two pieces are together and the tabs in between, and you can only see it from the outside. And then I had a bleeding wound. So it's a toy hazard.
It was everywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So
Yeah.
we just, it's not going in the box.
Well, how about things that we try to repair and it becomes futile. So you tried Ewok Village today, didn't work.
Right.
I have probably had more frustration with G1 Mirage than
Oh, because they're always broke.
right.
Yeah.
And I think at one time, because we buy a lot. And I was like, okay, I had taken some home for the day, and it was like 10 of them. And I got 3 out of the 10.
Right.
2 crumbled in my hand because of the blue plastic, which there's the phrase gold plastic syndrome.
Right.
And it refers
Blue
to
plastic
how
syndrome.
plastic is loaded up with metal bits to make it gold, but then that makes the plastic itself weaker. There's something in blue plastic that really degrades in sunlight, and it starts turning a blue-green to a green. And once that happens, it gets very, very brittle. And
It's done.
I remember one Mirage. Like the mechanism itself that always breaks is like a little plastic, almost like a screw head, and the part of the feet, the waist part, clamps around that, and you screw it in. It's real simple. So when that's gone, a lot of times I would just pile it out a small hole, put a screw in there that's the same size. It would work just fine. We put it in the case, say it's repaired. But
All the windshields are repaired on all the cars, too.
yeah, like 90%
Yeah.
because the windshields always break.
Yeah.
So then, I get this one Mirage. I'm like, okay, he's everything seems to be good, and I'm like, his head's not quite snapped back into place, and I just touch it and it flies off. It just flies away, and I'm like, well, that was a wasted 20 minutes.
So speaking of crumbling, that Power Ranger Zord. With that,
Which sword is that?
Man, I just know it's like the
It's
rocket.
got the red
space,
guy
maybe?
inside,
I don't
and
know.
it's so fragile.
Yeah.
Well, while you're looking that up,
Yes.
gold plastic.
Horrible.
So the original trilogy collection, Millennium Falcon. So every time they redo the original mold, they just change the coloring of certain pieces. I mean, the hull could be slightly different tint of gray, but like the little, the little loading ramp, the little struts or whatever. Like in the original, they're blue. I think it's the original trilogy collection or the OTC. Then they're gold. Those are always broke. Everything, so, and then I think it was the Mustafar playset. I had a guy buy a sealed one from me, took it home, opened it, and all the gold stuff shattered as he tried to assemble it. So it's just like, Yeah, don't open it.
Gold plastic is not good.
Okay, so I think it's. Make sure I have it right.
Is that the one with the shuttle?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's got a
So
rocket and a
it's like the
space
red
shuttle
guy.
in his hand.
So it's Power Rangers in space, Mega Voyager, Megazord, and it's primary colors. So it's
horrible.
It's blue, red, yellow, white, and black. And there's like this guy at the center who has like this red chest, and they just chose the worst plastic
It's super thin.
on Earth. Yeah, it's
Like
really.
how many of those have blown up trying to put that thing together?
I think out of the 5 or 6 we've done, it's been 4 of them.
We had a nice
Yeah.
one, and somebody took it home, and then they wanted to return it because it broke. And like it's
that
gonna
blue
break.
ring,
Yeah. So
that
it's
thing
like
goes too.
yeah, the red guy kind of folds up into sort of a cylinder shape, and then there's a blue cap cylinder thing that slides on top.
The
of it.
rocket, right?
Right. And it looks like it's supposed to go one way, but if you try the other way, it'll break. But luckily I was able to put one together.
Did that piece we found, was that a good one?
It was good. When I tried to take apart the one where all the pieces were good except the red guy that I had repaired, just trying to take it apart, it broke again.
Yeah, I saw that on the counter.
Yeah.
Well, I think this had been brought up, or we get asked this a lot, and that's how do we, I guess, what do we use for reference, I guess, would be a good way. And a lot of it is this vast library of knowledge amongst all of us, but it's also the literal library of books that we have access to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always trying to acquire old catalogs, old Toy Fair catalogs, manufacturer catalogs, and that's where, but now sometimes it's not always accurate because you're seeing pre-Toy Fair or initial
Prototypes.
Yeah, the coloring might be slightly off. And then there's books, that have been published that are not old Toy Fair catalogs that are, great resources. Some with, that had no representation. Like a good example is Wayne's from Retro Toy Quest. He put out, I think 2 volumes so far, and he's got a Joe book coming out. And he's got 3 and 4 coming, and he just hit all these little obscure lines that nobody's done. Mm-hmm. Like A-Team or, just little short abbreviated lines that, can't have a big book. But, then Pixel Dan, did the Motu book, and, Belomo did Star Wars, Transformers, G.I. Joe. And then these books, some of these are $100 books. They're not. And then, there's these really crazy high-end Star Wars books that we have. But a lot of that's more packaging variation and, if you get a mailer box, what's in it.
Yeah.
But you got the internet, a lot of stuff's not as hard.
Yeah.
Like Google Lens or picture.
Yeah, Google Lens
That
is
thing's,
great.
Great now.
I think the more people do it, the
more AI
the
that
smarter
takes
it gets. But then it'll say something is something with a breakdown. But then it's wrong.
Yeah.
But it's usually right. But then there's like I looked up something and it had a whole write up and it's 1988 and it goes to this and it's this and I was like, but it's none of that. But it thought it was that.
Yeah.
I think one of the first times I remember using the Google imaging to find something, it was on a modern Transformer, like one of the.
It works
Michael
really
Bay.
good on Transformers.
It does, but initially,
Yeah.
it was like it just identified a car. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that's all I got was that's not helping.
Yeah.
It's
But I
it's
mean,
realistic.
if you put in like a gray missile,
Oh man.
or a black missile,
Car parts.
It isn't good for that. At least not yet.
Yeah, it's getting there. So many things are. It seems like it's surprising what can be identified. Like we just try it sometimes. Like
Well, some of it just baffled me because this guy it was a friend of my dad's, and he had his father's toys. So these toys are from the 20s, and he's like, "Oh, bring them to my son. He'll help you out." And because So of course I'm gonna help my dad's friend, his neighbor. And so I was like, I don't even know what I'm looking at because I don't know these old tin.
Those things were metal. Those weren't
23 Skidoo. What is that now?
Right. So I took a picture on my phone, and it was like 1927 Structo. Like
steam shovel.
it knew exactly what it was.
Skynet, telling you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Taking over.
Then you're just gonna hover your phone over things, and then it's just tells you like you don't even have to like it. Just it's just weird. But I mean, in order to, you'd still study or brush up or learn, especially on a line that you want to know, because then a lot of it you don't have to look it up because you know.
Yeah.
And then valuing things, by selling it enough, you can understand the market.
Well, the trick that we all do that I guess it's a little bit different. That really, I don't know. I don't want to say impresses people, but people are just like, wow. And there's plenty of people out there that do this, but it's part identification. Seeing that one thing out of context and knowing what it is, that's the hardest part. Because like you might say, oh, well, clearly this is what, this is what this Transformers missile looks like. Well, but it came in a bin full of M.A.S.K, or it came in a...
Yeah.
Well, it's like doing those micro sets of Power Rangers. It's like, for me, it's like once you see it and know it, you kind of retain it. Like, maybe, I know everyone's different, but...
I need at least a little bit of repetition. Because, like, I'll know it for maybe a good bit. But if a year goes by or 2 years goes by, then...
It definitely gets harder.
And then you've done 20 other things or 500 other things. You're like, I think that's Power Rangers. But I'm not, I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah. Well, then there's stuff you go to look at and you still can't find information. Like we're doing the Superhuman Samurai?
Yeah.
That was kind of tough.
Yeah, that was a line from Playmates, and I'm assuming all the molds came from some,
they had
Bandai
the small guys
property.
had turtle weapons.
Right, yeah, they had slapped together Slash or the Turtle Troll weapons, which those got used multiple times with turtles.
With the turtles.
But like, I mean, that was Ultraman anyway. So it's like they rebranded it here, and then we're trying to look it up, and it was weird because we just couldn't find anything. And it's like,
well, there's that really chrome green looking guy you said, which was Charger or Charging.
Well, they're all called the same thing.
It was Superhuman Samurai, Cyber Squad, Supercharged Amp was his name.
Right.
And it's all it is it's a green
Chrome
Ultraman, new version of at that time. And I don't remember that. I remember
there was
Superhuman
one
Samurai being everywhere.
Literally only one sold on Worth Point.
Yeah.
And that was in 2019, and it was incomplete.
Yeah.
So there's no data.
Yeah.
So then how much is it? So then you just, but then it's Superhuman Samurai. I mean, you could buy box stuff for, sealed for $100 maybe.
Well,
the big guys.
Right. Sometimes when we run across that, we don't put it right out because we're like, well, we just don't know.
Right. We need more
information.
Right.
But I can tell you how I think it'll go, just because we've done this a lot. So we didn't find the chrome green version, but we did find the chrome pink version.
Oh, but it was some ridiculous price.
It was $250 in box sealed.
But it didn't sell. That's what they were asking.
No, it sold.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So and we only use sold. So
okay. So then you have.
I still follow kind of a lot of the rule of things taken out of box almost always are half price.
Yeah.
So then $250. What's half of that? $75. Now how hard is it?
It's $125.
Yeah. Find it.
Yeah, find it. 100 to 125 is where I would place it.
Find it.
No, but half the 250s.
75.
Right.
Okay.
75.
Well, I mean, sorry.
Math is hard.
Yeah. So 125, but it'd be 100 to 125 just based on that. And we run across that all the time.
Right.
And we found all the parts. And guess where all the parts were?
Turtles.
Not in that bin.
Yeah,
Turtles.
Turtles.
Well, Superhuman Samurai is really we've only ever put out maybe two guys, the same two guys, I think.
Pretty much.
Right.
I mean, we put out a display of 4 or 5 on the Power Ranger shelf one time.
Yeah.
But they came in that way. so we didn't have to do anything. But building those guys,
it's tough.
Yeah.
And they're pretty basic, it looks like. I don't know.
Well, there's different sizes and then different armor, different. It looks
it's
the same.
Definitely an oddball line.
Scale.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like a highly requested item.
The armor becomes a robot and a vehicle, and it becomes armor for the same guy who goes into the others, other suits.
But the guys are different colors. Same guy, but different colors.
Yeah. Yeah, the small ones, there was like a silver gray one and a
red,
white and silver one.
Yeah.
And then some of those, they didn't have the proper paint jobs. Like there was patches just not painted on the figure.
Yep. Or an extra stripe down the leg.
Yeah. Who cares? This will sell, whatever.
But like going back to completing things, it's like you go through everything, you sorting, finding. It's so disheartening when you get to the end and you're missing that one piece.
Oh, that one piece.
That one piece.
Yeah.
Everything else is there. But that one piece.
I was working on G1 Transformers, and the Target Masters are tough because they're a redone figure with slightly bigger holes in the hand to hold the Target Master weapon. And they're not all that hard, but then, like, for whatever reason, what's the boat guy? What's his name?
The blue guy?
Yeah.
Talking about Cyclonus?
The thing that goes in his head is 2 parts?
Yes.
Right.
So, Scourge?
Scourge, yes.
Yeah.
So Scourge, he's already difficult because of the different hole size. And the regular Scourge is, it's like 125 maybe, if he's really minty.
Right.
So then Target Master being worth more, it's like, okay, it'll probably be 2. I look it up, I can't even find one. I'm like, this is G1 Transformers. You should be able to find one. So I didn't have a complete one, but I just kept it in the back of my mind, and then we got a part in one day. I was like, oh, wow, cool, let's go check that out. I look it up, 300, 350,
Isn't
375.
the shield broke a lot, too?
That's Blur.
Okay,
yeah.
there you go.
So then there's
His headpiece.
it's like 2 variations of the headpiece. And they only go one way or the other on the first and second version of the regular one, but then the Target Master gets either or. And it's like, okay, at least you get a break there. But even so, I only had one to fit, and it was a 2-piece one, and I had to wait from one retro all the way to the week before another one before that piece came in. I waited a whole year. And we do that a lot. We wait years for parts.
Yeah, because we sell everything complete.
Yeah. Or it comes in waves. We'll have a bunch of one part.
Yeah.
And then nothing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh, what I say this morning, I got 5 Outbacks, G.I. Joe, sitting, waiting. Flashlight ain't the problem. Now it's the gun.
Oh, God.
Well,
all the straps are gone.
Right. It's just the strapless.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you never have the flashlights.
Right.
And now we got 5.
Yeah, and then because of things like that, and because of what we see, you start in your head keeping like an inventory of these are the hard
mental
parts.
record.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when it rains, it pours, and you get them.
Well, that's where when you go through a lot, and then because you know what's waiting to go out.
Yeah.
And you're like, so this,
is.
I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And ultimately, you could just go on eBay and buy the part, and there's times where we have to do that, but that's when we're really close. Like if it's the Piranacon or something, or I don't know, there's already 20 accessories, but we need 2 swords or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, let's just do it because now it's
twin guns,
$400.
Or the scope of the Roadbuster, man,
yeah.
I can't believe we've had it twice. But it's tiny, it's nothing. It
That's
looks
the
like
one
nothing.
that guy drove like from Michigan to buy it.
That's right. A guy drove from Michigan.
I think
to
it was
buy
Michigan, right?
And he did, and we had it in box, although it was open.
Yeah.
He just wanted him, and he didn't even care about the box. He's just like, I'm just going to set this on the shelf, take him out, and display him. It's like, well, okay.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's great.
I know some really like I don't know what's going on, but I mean I kind of, it's just, I don't know if it's an economy thing or it probably is an economy thing, but stuff's getting sold like crazy. Yep. That it like really high end, like
all the time.
Yeah, that it's
recently anyways.
It's difficult to because you can only sell it so fast, and there's only if things are off. If there's, if it's like right now, it's a buyer's market. Like things are off. There's more sellers than there are buyers, and then if there's, if you have these grail pieces, those are always going to sell because the rich guys are always rich. Like it doesn't, it doesn't, but, what was that one collection with the guy that, I don't know if it was Hakes or somebody, like it just, all that stuff went for like crazy money.
The Star Wars?
Yeah.
The one of everything guy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing nuts. Collection. But I mean, it was like, so there was money for that stuff. But then it's just like, and I guess it's regional and it depends on where you are. But I mean, like we don't get a lot of Silverhawks. And I mean, we bought like a humongous carded collection and then another carded collection just came in. And then carded Bionic 6 and stuff you don't see, or like, the Ghost Man, or I think there's two. It's, I think there's, it's just nuts. But then, when you go to like, let's say, the last 17 or the last, the end of the Star Wars run, for whatever reason, nobody around here seems to have that stuff.
Yeah. And it just,
we seldom get it.
Up. Yeah.
And then when you put it out, it's
gone.
It's gone. And then somebody comes in and is like, hey, you got any last set? Well, no. Why not? Because people buy it.
We got that a lot with Secret Wars and Superpowers too. Like recently.
Yeah, but I think we talked about that. It doesn't. I think it's a regional thing.
Yeah.
It's like everybody around here had G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Everybody had He-Man.
Yep.
Not the end of the line He-Man, but there's a lot of He-Man around here.
All them buzz-offs.
Yeah.
Well, that was a problem back then.
Yeah. It's still a problem.
Yeah. And then, there's just, I think you dealt with a message where a guy had a Mobat with no battery cover and no tip.
Yep.
And he wanted to sell it.
He wanted to sell it, and he'd never had any experience with this.
Right.
I looked it up, and this thing's getting like whatever the asking price was like $100-something.
It's never $100, but
and he's like, this thing is pristine, and he takes a picture, and I'm not even the Joe guy, and I know to look for the tip first.
Right.
So no tip, and there's no driver. Was it Steeler? Yeah. There's no Steeler.
No battery cover, or there was
no battery cover.
Right. So
literally
the only two accessories
like,
it gets.
This is pristine. He's like, I'm hoping to get $100. And I was like, well, unfortunately, we.
You replied back with a picture of 3 bins full.
Yeah, I was like, unfortunately,
we don't need any.
We just don't. If you had the tip or the guy, that's what we need the most.
Right. But see, then I feel bad because say they're a fan or this is the first time they're reaching out, and then they want to offer you something, and then you're like, well, I got 50.
Yeah.
So then you kind of, at least so I try to find a way to work it out, but at some point there's only so much
storage
bins you can devote to storing, but then there's a guy who doesn't care that he wants a $50 or $60 Mobat with the tip. I think that's kind of where they're at now. They used to be 80, then they're like 50. But he may just say, I just want a $20 Mobat. I could do that.
Yeah.
I could probably do you a $10 Mobat.
Yeah, without the tip and the battery cover.
We sell empty gray skulls all the time.
Yeah.
People just want to put it on a shelf.
Yeah, we still have 50 in the back.
Yeah.
So they still don't sell, but then, then I guess we could ship, but then we can't keep up with just what's in the store and the flow that happens here. So it just, it's difficult. Plus, these are, again, good problems.
Right.
There's shops that are struggling or wondering, when the next good collection is going to come in or something. And they put out a He-Man figure with a sword and no shield.
No axe.
Because that's how they have it. It's just, it's difficult to maintain a certain, I guess, standard. Because then you end up holding on to all this stuff until you can get just one guy out. Like there's like 3 M.A.S.K vehicles on my desk that I think we've talked about that.
It's 5 years maybe.
Well, it's not been that long.
It feels like 5 years.
Yeah, because I think we've been in the new spot 5 or 6.
That's
Wolf Beast and
Beast.
yeah,
the purple
the Volkswagen.
Yeah,
but
it's all split seconds.
Split seconds, guys. Yeah.
But slowly they get closer and closer.
Yeah. Man, you wait.
Yeah.
And it's like a year, and you're like, oh, we got a part for this, and you go look, and you're like, I've already got it.
Well, see, it would usually work out because there's a finite amount of glass case space to display to where we keep the vintage stuff. So a certain portion of that, like when a particular section gets gutted, then we're like, all right, now we can put something new in that space. So that's when a line that isn't out has an opportunity to go. But the mainstays always stay, whether it's Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Transformers, Turtles, right. He-Man, always stay.
The tier 1 guys.
Right.
Yeah.
But, then the Thundercats will get gutted, so then you're like, all right, I'll put Chuck Norris or Karate Commandos. Or it seems like we've kind of had a permanent Kenner Ghostbusters display.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like we do actually have some Street Sharks, but, we need a nice Thundercats collection.
Definitely.
I mean, we got 2 sealed Mummers Fortresses and sealed Thunder Tanks, like this high-end stuff, and it's like I just want regular guys.
Yeah, we can't do a Panthro or
because not everybody's going to drop $2,500 on a graded, like you just want monkeying or whatever,
We don't have his helmet.
Yeah, we don't have any helmets.
We don't have Monkey's helmet.
Yeah. And then the thing is, he's not worth all that much to spend $20 on eBay to buy a helmet to sell the figure for $30.
Yeah.
So you just wait.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Is when we do get things on eBay, it has to be sort of cost effective. It has to be worth it because it's like, well, are you going to spend $10 to get a $30 guy out? Probably not. That's
It's not good math.
Yeah. So it's like somewhere in there it has to sound like, well, this is going to really work. This is going to really be a good thing to have.
Well, it's why if it's a combiner and a G1 and
like the small gun to Metroplex,
15 guy or 20 parts, and we're down to 2, well, it probably makes sense.
Yeah.
And then we try to eye lots, which is what, if you're looking for parts and you have other, you're trying to complete multiple things, you try to eye lots that have multiple pieces you need in it. Because if you have to buy them individually, you're going to end up over.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you got 2 shippings, you got, but I always find it funny. I don't know what made me think of this, but you get these sellers because, like I'm not let's say you have something for $100, but you put or best offer. I'm a seller, so I understand what a reasonable offer is. So I see people, I come in and they $20. That's like insulting. Like I wouldn't even.
Yeah.
But
decline.
Some people just don't care. They do that.
Yeah.
And but like if you come in at like 90 and then it's auto declined.
Oh yeah.
So they pre-built it in to decline. It's like,
so why even bother?
Why are you allowing best offer for
I want $95.47.
Right. And then I even think I went to 95 auto declined. I was like, so you just, I don't even know why you added. Maybe you accidentally put best offer.
Yeah.
I'd go to the next one listed for whatever the next lesser price was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes that could be the.
I mean, I'm saying if something was 100 and he's doing best offer and it keeps declining, like
here's
one at 102. Let's.
Yeah.
I mean,
I remember. I don't know if I told this, but I remember I was watching. So my personal hive, which was sealed, and this was like a gamble because you got to trust the seller knows how to ship, because a lot of sellers have no clue how to ship.
This is true.
And so it doesn't like, and I think I've told this story. Maybe I haven't. I'm thinking of 2 stories now, but the one is this guy had a sealed Sectar's Hive playset, and I think it was, let's say it was $1,400, and I was watching it, and I was like, I already had a complete boxed one, I didn't have a sealed one, and I think at the time maybe a loose complete box one was about $1,000. A sealed one, I didn't know what it was worth, but I was like, $1,400 seems way underpriced.
I would think.
But all he did is watch it, because I was like, I got one, and then whenever I got my room set up, am I going to want to show it, or am I just going to, so, and then I got an offer, minus $900.
Yes.
So I was like, I don't know, like, did he mean to say minus $90, or?
I would think so.
Can't undo it.
Right?
Well, yeah, he just could have just not honored the order. And so then I was like, yes. And then I paid for it. And I was like, I don't understand what kind of offer this was. It was like 60% off or whatever it was.
Good offer.
So it was great. And then I think I took it to, I finally dropped it. Did I deliver it at Retro Toycon one year?
Oh, AFA?
Yeah, and AFA had it, and it came back in 80. So I was like, that's nice. Because those boxes are not good boxes. That material.
Yeah.
That Remco or
Coleco.
Or Coleco, right, right. Is Karate Kid Remco?
Remco, yes.
Because they have crappy boxes,
Right.
too.
Rambo's Coleco. Coleco didn't. It's hard to think of what else Coleco did, but
They had those tabletop little mini arcades. I had those.
Didn't they do Starcom? Is that not? Or
That's Tyco.
is it Tycho? I don't know.
nah, you might be. Well, I don't know.
Let's ask Google.
We can't remember everything.
Yeah.
Can try.
We could just edit all that out.
No, leave it in.
I'm just kidding.
Leave it in.
No, we certainly don't know everything.
If you know everything, you stop learning.
Oh, geez. Every day I'm learning about a new part.
And he had it. It was Coleco.
So then it was Coleco.
Mm-hmm.
That's like just what I said.
I mean, you're right. We learned the other day that, as much Joe as we know, the Mobat, the treads.
Oh, right. So I think, did you point it out?
Yeah.
So we were in the back bin, and
I don't know if you know this.
I don't think I just ever caught it. But there's the solid tread, and then there's the tread that holds the gear.
Right.
It's a hole in the center.
But there's one that doesn't. It's just smooth all the way around. No holes.
So that one wouldn't get as good traction.
So maybe it was an earlier design.
So we're thinking
that failed,
82, 83.
Well, I think talking to Wayne, who's doing the book,
'cause I remember
Retro
you asked
Toy
him.
Quest.
Right.
Yeah, he. And then I just thought there was 2 battery covers, and he said there's 3. So he showed me the picture, and then I was like, "Well, did you know the tread?" And he goes, "I got it. I put it in the book."
There you go.
And then I think I saw a few sample pages, and one of them was it the Vamp? And there's multiple guns, or at least 2 versions. I have to look again, which I didn't know.
Were they like longer or shorter, or you can't remember?
I'd have to look at the picture, but you know,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you can never fully say you're an expert on anything because
there's always.
I'll never say it because doing this, you always find something.
Oh, I never claim. I've never ever. I mean, because you just
can't.
Like, we were dumped out because we're working on Power Rangers at the moment, and we just keep finding bins of stuff, and we think we get everything sorted where you put the 8-inch guys all together, and then the little monsters, and then the big monsters, and try to triage it all, put everything like things together, and then we just keep finding more bins, and so then we was like, well, we got to dump it all on the ground.
It's like what you were saying, Travis, about the what was it, the White Ranger with the armor?
So there's the automorphing Rangers. It's the flip head Power Rangers that came out, I guess 94 or so. So they had the regular ones, then they had movie ones.
Right.
And the White Ranger has gone up in price. I'm like, okay, maybe I can complete this, which, I guess we can't because I didn't really find any armor. But they had chrome ones, which the only flip head chrome one that I knew of or was able to find was the White Ranger today. And that's just called a special edition. That's all that's called. And then there's chrome ones that don't flip. They're like almost the exact same body, but the head doesn't flip. And those are movie figures. Okay, cool. So then I'm separating the White Ranger. I have one White Ranger, and I have 6 or 7 of the chrome ones. Like, oh, okay, 2 head flips here, and then 2 of the movie ones there. And I have a little bit of armor, and I'm trying to match it all up. And
the armor's very hard. The gold plastic, it breaks.
Yeah, it's gold.
We don't have a lot of it.
It's gold plastic. It breaks, so I'm carefully doing this. And I'm looking at one, and it has like a little peg sticking up. I'm like, okay, well, this will definitely interfere with this fitting on him because most of it just rests on him. So then I look at the movie one, and then some of them, they have like a little screw hole in the back, and okay, the peg fits there. And then there's one where there's 2 screw holes, 2 peg holes that are separated. I don't even know what that armor looks like.
Yeah. So
it's like 3 different armors, right?
Yeah. And there's no mix and match because the armor that goes on the white flip head and the chrome flip head, there's no peg hole. And it's a different size. So you can't even use like the front
smaller,
piece.
right? Or bigger? Smaller.
Yeah. So it's like all this stuff is just different for no reason. It just makes it that much more difficult.
And to my knowledge, there's no Power Ranger book. So, because we need it.
We definitely need Power Ranger.
Right. Because that line is endless.
Those micro sets alone.
I think that line's bigger than a lot. GI, because it's been going on forever.
How many Zords is it now? It was like 50?
There's probably way more than that. I have no clue.
I like just 12 Zords in the first season.
There's mini versions, big
Megazords.
versions, micro versions. It's endless figures.
You got Zords that fit on Zords inside a tiger, inside a turtle, on top of a dragon.
Then you got diecast.
Right.
Diecast is cool.
Yeah. Those guys always take a couple years to do.
I found the one piece, the shark fin piece or something.
Yeah,
I think we did that guy once.
So the one he's referring to is a variant of the guy that we did,
of course,
which we did once, which is also almost the same. It's like that because you can switch the head out and make a different So
yeah,
and that's legitimate. It comes that way. Well, there's one where it's like a repaint. You can only get it in Japan, and we've just had this thing for years now. And you found a fin for it.
Yeah.
And we're still waiting on the horns that go on the head. It's got
which we're never going to get.
We're never going to get. They're huge, long. It's never going to. I don't know.
Power Rangers.
So.
But yeah, we need a Power Ranger guide.
Yeah.
We found it. We got a good Mighty M.A.S.K guide.
Pictures.
Well, I think the guy, and no knock, because it's just the fact that we have something is amazing. But it seemed like either the resolution isn't the greatest on the photography.
Yeah, it might have been the printing.
What else we had?
I even think I got a Dino Riders book.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
I thought I did.
I know we got Battle Beasts, Musclemen, obviously Joe, Transformers, Thunder.
There's one guy who was on Amazon. I don't remember his name, but he did Buck Rogers, Galactica, and Indiana Jones. The Kenner, so not the LJN. And they're thin, and they're like $15 on Amazon.
Yeah.
But they're so it's something. Oh, and I think he's doing M.A.S.K now. So I was like, I'm gonna have to buy it. 4077.
So the guides, a lot of the guides, people may or may not know this. A lot of guides just come from a fan who's taking a picture of their collection, and it's just something that they dedicated their lives to. So we should.
If you look at some of those old Schiffer publishing guides, most of those books, there's like a little feather or something gets across the bottom, and it says Schiffer. I think I'm right, because there's Krause too, right? Krause Publishing, but Schiffer, I remember that, and it's just some dude. So if it's like a Transformer one, I have a Planet of the Apes one, because there's no Planet of the Apes guide, but there is. I think Schiffer Publishing did one maybe 15, 20 years ago, and it's just the dude's stuff. So it's like
this is stuff in my house.
But it's
here's a monkey.
But it's thorough.
Yeah.
But it's not a because like now if you do it, everything's got to be so polished and sharp, and they probably go into some photo software and take all the imperfections out of the box, so it just looks
clean.
This is in the raw, like natural.
The apes in their natural habitat.
Yeah, it's just the box could be jacked, but he's got it, and he just photographs it. And then I remember, and then there was like 10 pages devoted to like his Planet of the Apes T-shirts. And it's not like they're even on a mannequin; they're just kind of laid there, and some look dirty-ish, but it's cool. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
But some of the old guys, like I found this book from 19. So we used to go to the mall a lot. So, and with mom, it was always with my mom. So wherever we got picked up from school, and then we went to the mall, or because she had errands or had something to do, and I'd go to this little arcade or whatever. But then on one end of the mall was Walden Books, the other was B. Dalton. And then I would go straight to like the antiques and collectibles. And I remember when they finally did this little Star Wars guide, but it was, I don't know, 4 inches by 4 inches. It was small. And it was, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of an inch thick. It's like a little pocket guide. And it was Star Wars and Star Trek. It was all in one. And let's say it was 1990.
Blasphemy.
Coming in hot.
And everything that existed was documented, but I don't even think there was photos. I could be wrong. I have it. I had to find it again. But that was like so cool. I don't even know why I was telling you that.
Well, yeah, because it was very.
But that was like
done on your own.
That was probably one of the original guides that I recall, because I was so excited to learn what my stuff is worth, because I was collecting, always.
Yeah.
And I have that. And it would be like People Magazine 1978 or whatever. It's like, I got that. Starlog, Fangoria. Or it wasn't even, it was what was it? Or there was Cinema Fastique.
Yeah.
Fantastic Films.
Fantastic Films, okay.
That was one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I was all into all that stuff. Like, I couldn't get enough of that. I remember when I was at Walden Books, and I remember they had Willow figures on the counter. And I saw the Starlog that said Revenge of the Jedi.
Ooh.
So then I was like, we're getting a new movie.
What? Yeah.
But then that was like a big deal to get that, because there's only... You wanted anything that said Revenge, because that was not the title anymore. So I was like... so excited that I had something that said that.
I read about that in the very first Lee's guide that I bought as a kid. It was black and white, and it was covering Star Wars. So it was my introduction to Star Wars. It had all the figures, but it had listed in the guide like Revenge of the Jedi poster.
And, yeah.
And in 1990,
there's this fold out thing too that I have.
Have you ever seen a figure like with the logo on the card? Like,
I don't think they were ever released, but the proof card,
because I know they all went in the trash or whatever. But
so Tony down in Miami, he had a
Ryan's friend.
Yeah, Ryan's friend Tony.
he had what he calls his honey hole, and there was a place where he would score stuff, and it was like an antique mall type thing, kind of like there's one down the road.
Yeah.
And a guy had a booth there, and I don't know where this place is. I just know he got so much amazing stuff there. I think all his black hole and a lot of his odd line figures that I think I bought during the whole COVID mess to help when, everybody couldn't have customers in the store, and I bought some of his stuff. He must have bought 20, 30 Revenge of the Jedi proof cards. And then ended up grading them all, and I think he sold every one of them. But I mean, if you had like a Farm Boy Luke, it was like, $3,000 or $4,000 or whatever it was. But I mean, these sold years ago.
Right.
But
like I was gonna say, I know you had a Star Wars figure the other day, and you flipped it over, and it said Revenge of the Jedi on the back.
But that's not as big of a deal as if the branding,
right?
Because when they were teasing, free Revenge of the Jedi offer, or Revenge of the Jedi, so those are a little bit more sought after on a Jedi card, or an Empire card. But they actually had the card. That's the money.
I thought the poster was the big money, or at least that's what.
If you have that, that's big money.
Yeah.
But then you
find it.
Yeah.
When you try to find movie posters now, like you have to buy from a trusted source because
everything's redone.
Reprint. Yeah.
There's so much fake out there, and then the person selling it to you may have got conned and think they're selling you something real, and they don't know.
Yeah. You
because I just
knowledge.
The ability for people to print stuff that you just really need to know. But I think we're winding this one down, and I appreciate you. Tell the mailman.
Tell the mailman. Tell the mayor.
Tell the mayor.
This city will not stand for any vigilantism.
All right. Thanks guys.
Toy Federation.